Ever thought about what makes some people stand out from the rest? How do they become experts or thought leaders that others look up to them? Well, we have all the answers for you today. Welcome back, everyone, to another captivating episode of Zeeshan's podcast, where we discuss all things branding and more. Today, we are diving into these questions with Shweta, who's all about helping folks build their leadership brand. Shweta, it's great to have you here with us today. I feel there's nobody better than you to answer all these questions for us. You've been on a journey to inspire leaders, but we would like to know more about your story before we get into thicker things.
First and foremost, Zeeshan, thanks for having me here today. I am really excited. So, I think back then I was working with corporate and I was really liking what I was doing, absolutely. But at the end of the day, there was a restlessness in me. And I realized that I wanted to, meet out a lot of people, new people, and want to create impact day in and day out, you know, feel that impact, live that impact every day. And that is where I, took up the challenge of going out in the world with absolutely no experience in training. And I became a visiting faculty at a lot of colleges. They gave me a heads up, said that yes, you can do the job and you can deliver the goods. So yeah, I started. And what I realized is that I was working with another brand and I did everything for them, right from building their training content and handling their team of 25 plus people, handling their premium clients, giving them everyday quality assurance, making their business grow from good to great. And what I understood is that if I can do it for somebody else, why not do it for myself? This will help me to live a life without compromising on my values, without compromising on any quality which I want to deliver, and more importantly, build on my time, which will help me lead in future. So yeah, that is where Zeelanite came into picture. We started with a lot of consulting clients, and then we added a lot of workshops.
This name came into the picture, Zeolite. It's quite unique and different. How did you coin this term if you have?
So Zealand is a vague number. It means that you have a lot of money. It's just that you don't know how much money.
Yeah.
So once you know that you have a lot of money, you create infinite impact. So not only money, you have a lot of resources, a lot of qualities, a lot of passion. So it's zillion. It's more than enough, for you to create an infinite impact, which will not only as an entrepreneur, it will not only impact your team, your own family, but even your competitors. They also take steps as per your strategy. So definitely you're creating an infinite impact to the entire ecosystem. So yeah, Zillion plus infinite is Zillion.
You're going to help us understand a lot about thought leadership today, and we start with what exactly is a thought leader? Who is a thought leader? What makes a thought leader, and why is it important to be one?
Somebody who is in a corporate world or an entrepreneur, they have this mindset that I have to earn this much income. Out of that, I will take care of my expenses, and whatever remains is savings. Now, a smarter guy, what he or she would do, they would have their income and they would save first. And later, whatever is remaining, they would have it for expenses, which is a smart way of doing, taking care of your future needs and all of that. What the thought leader would do, life is this. I want to live my life at this level. And for that, I will need this kind of expenses, this many savings for my dreams, for my future. So I need to generate this much income. We'll go ahead and generate that level of income. That is thought leadership in simple words for me in one context. In another context, like say, we know that, in India, Neeraj Chopra, he won the gold medal in javelin. 1 year prior, he had this, surgery and there were no chances that he could even participate. And here he was on this bed, getting his surgery done, and he's telling his doctor, you know what, I'm going to get gold. So thought leaders are not just, somebody who are having a thought in their mind and that's about it. They are, I think, strategizers. More than a strategizer, they are also executors. And more than executors, they're optimizers. So I think a thought leadership is somebody who has this thought, goes ahead, gets it done, and the entire world will say, oh wow, what a thought, what a game changer.
That's really interesting the way you put all those things in perspective. So why is it, crucial nowadays in today's day and time to become a thought leader?
I think because we are living in such times where we are having challenging times, as well as the market is also growing. Everybody has these new ideas, but how quickly or how effectively you're going to, put things in place is very important. So, for example, one of my clients, she was a 19-year-old female, and in pandemic, she gained a lot of weight and she started doing yoga. So after doing yoga, she lost a good amount of 20 to 30 kgs within a couple of months, which is huge. She started taking, online yoga classes where in yoga you need to have, an offline class. She has no idea in terms of how it will work out and everything. She just went ahead, started her journey, started teaching from, fundamentals of yoga to advanced levels and so on and so forth. She had some very less participants in first few classes, and now she has 60 plus participants in every class of hers. That was more inspiring for me. Showcases that thought leadership is so important, because I think we all are mirror images. What works for you works for others, as simple as that. If you are facing a problem, others are also facing a similar problem.
I have a follow-up question though. Isn't
Sure.
it difficult to come up with ideas that matters to others? I mean, not everyone is as creative as you made them sound to be. You know, not everybody has that creative flair to come up with new ideas, or have that thought in their mind that this is going to work. So, how do you figure out which idea is worth exploring as a thought leader? And is there a formula to get this streamlined?
I believe, see, we are dealing with people, and everybody has a different temperament, are, in a different sort of journey. So where they are in their journey is very important to identify. For example, let's say my client, we are into vision building for leaders. So my client, he has a 200 to 50 crore turnover every year. They are into flex board business. Okay. So naturally they want to grow and expand and scale and all of that. But what we understood is that I could see that he was struggling a lot in terms of, delegating tasks. And I said, you need first line of leaders in place. This is more important than anything else. Though for a, company, you want to become a brand, you want to grow 10x, all of that will happen. So what I'm trying to say from this example is that you need to understand what works for you, what works for your business, what works for your ecosystem, your environment. And I think that is where it is very easy to say, no, this will not work. And this is where I can focus and where I can, make one idea go from good to great.
If I have to sum it up, you're saying that you need to understand your why first before going out into the market and exploring more
Absolutely.
ideas. If you know more about yourself, it's easier to explore even if there's a new idea out there.
I was saying it is internal motivation, because as an entrepreneur, the journey is so difficult that all which you are, starting off with will just dim away. You are on a road less travel. In fact, there is no road sometimes.
Yeah.
Forget there is light. So
Right.
you need to have this thing very clearly, that why am I doing it? And every day you get up in the morning, you know that why. And that's why you'll start asking this question, start finding answers to this question, which will make you lead from one thing to other. So yeah, very important.
You were just telling me off camera that you have a book coming out very soon, which will help leaders build their thought leadership brand. Uh, can you give us a little glimpse of what all you're covering in that book, and then, if something is there to help people understand how they can become thought leaders?
In pandemic, we understood that a lot of my clients need a lot of hand holding, but at their own leeway. And of course, distance was also coming into play, since there was lockdown, everywhere. So in my workshop, we also have clients, right from an engineering student, who is, trying to make his or her idea commercially viable, to somebody who is into business for 20 years and are stuck up at a certain stage of their business. So for all of them, we had, to devise one tool, a toolkit, which will help them, guide them, give them answers for their own business. So, if you don't know whether do I have it in me to start a business, or I have it in me, but is my idea good enough or no? So, all of these is what you're going to ask, even for somebody who is joining his or her family owned business, that also is a new start. Though the family business is there for 50
Yeah.
years, 100 years, you still need to, prove yourself. You still need to understand if I fit into that. Is it a you know, right fit or is the force fit, a lot of these things. So that is where we understood that, okay, first we need to understand the entire entrepreneurship journey, because there are different types of entrepreneurs. Right from there to what builds the foundation of the business, which will help me survive in good times, bad times, make me take difficult challenges, tough challenges, right? And then how do I overcome competition? How do I ensure that markets are changing, the market dynamics are coming into play? How to deal with them? How to overcome them? How to lead them? How to build a USP for my products, services? How to showcase value to my clients, to my prospects? How to build team? How to scale up my business? And more importantly, how to become a brand. So all these aspects are covered into it, and it's not your, usual run of the mill management book where you'll have, the fundamentals explained. You're like, okay, great fundamental explained over here, but how do I put it in my business? That is what this book is answering, where it will work in my business. So there are a lot of questions, worksheets, activities, and exercises where you will kickstart on this journey of, discovering answers to your challenges in business in a methodological way. So this is what we are trying to address in a book called Developing Leaders, which is a leadership toolkit.
Sounds like a great read, Shweta. Do send a copy to me as well. I'd love to
Absolutely.
read it.
Even for your readers.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, can we say that influencers, which are there on each and every platform we go to, like Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter, or YouTube, or whatever, can we say that those influencers are also thought leaders? Or is it equivalent to become a thought leader?
For me, thought leaders are very clear. Somebody, you and me, we all know their household names. Been there, done that. As I said, strategized, executed, optimized, all of that. So let's say Warren Buffett or Robert Kiyosaki, who is the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. These guys are thought leaders. And influencers, if you see all of these guys today, so called influencers, they are actually preaching what these guys have preached and practiced. Right. So every thought leader, I think the byproduct is an influencer.
An influencer is more or less a copycat, whereas a thought leader is the original thought creator.
See, I would not say a copycat, because sometimes what happens is that you have certain fundamentals which are, more customized or easily explained by these influencers also. And a lot
Right.
of people might not, they know the idea but have not deep dived into, as we say, the more you listen about something, the more deep it goes. Like if I'll keep on repeating a line until and unless you are thinking it, it's sunk into your heart. And that's why we have this branding and advertising campaigns, right? That's where they keep on coming every 30 seconds on. So I think they are doing a great job of, giving good knowledge, which will help you to become better, take better decisions, make wiser decisions, and better practices in life. So I think influencers, not all of them are copycats. I think, see, for example, for my clients, like one of my client, he was very gung ho after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, very gung ho, and he loved this, thing of asset versus liability. He explains that a house is a liability, and so he sold off his car. He does not have a car anymore. He sold off his car
Okay.
after reading the book. And he was on the verge of selling his house. So I said, sir, don't do that. Because, see, the concept is great. It's not that obviously asset versus liability. Economically, it makes a lot of sense that it's a
Yeah.
liability. The house is not going to give you interest. But I said, when you have a house, at least in India, it gives you security. It's a big security. Like in pandemic, we had a lot of businesses shutting their shop, a lot of people going through challenging times. But if you have your own house, you can still be taken care of. You are really not going to go back and, it's a big security. I mean, it's a big take on security. And second, I think when it comes to a lot of things, people see that whether you have a house or no, it's a big uh, validation to put trust in you, to have forged relations in terms of, in a personal level also. So having a house is just not asset versus liability, it's much more than that. So you need to take into consideration a lot of things. So I think if an influencer can, demarcate these things, it would be really great.
I didn't mean to put you on the pedestal there at all. Just trying to make it simple for the audience to understand the real difference between a thought leader and influencer. And I think you made a great example of what is an influencer and a thought leader. Right. So to wrap up things now, Shweta, I need you to give out some tips to these startup founders and business owners who are looking to become thought leaders themselves. What are those mantras you would give them?
I want them to ask themselves a strong, beautiful questions. So I would like to leave them with one question which they have to think about it. When do you become a thought leader? A, when you find a great mentor in your journey. B, when you yourself become a great mentor. Or C, when you have created a lot of great mentors who were your mentees and you have nothing more to teach them and they are all leading. This is what you need to think, understand, and answer for yourself. I think all answers lies within us. So be your own light. Yeah, that's the beauty of a thought leader.
Wow, you just simplified the whole thing. Well, Shweta, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on thought leadership, which are unique and right on point. Thank you so much once again for being you and spilling all the beans with us today. And we hope to host you again with another intriguing topic.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for having this great podcast, and it was really a wonderful experience.
And that wraps up another exciting episode of Zeeshan's podcast, where we discuss all things branding and more. I'm sure you found this conversation as intriguing as I did, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button and follow Shweta Vora on LinkedIn to ask her about the book, which is coming out really soon. Stay tuned for more captivating weekly conversations around branding and more. And as we say goodbye, let me leave you with a mantra. Your unique voice can make you a thought leader in your own way. Know its importance. See you next week, everyone.